Hi Art Club. So what we're gonna be doing this week is we're gonna make things out of coils, but the coils are already made for you. So a lot of you have done work with coils before, but we've never used my extruder together. So an extruder it's a pulling system I have in the back of the room. Typically when you go to line up when you're in my room, you'll see a metal kind of machine with a lever on it. That is my extruding system. So if you put clay through there, it comes out as a long coil. So we're gonna be using that to create different projects. So this week you can make anything you want, from a cup to a bowl to a vase. And this time you don't have to make your own coils. We have the coils already made for you. So the only thing you'll have to make yourself is you'll have to put the coils together and you have to make a base. So I rolled out some clay right here for my base. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take 2 slab sticks. You're gonna put your clay in between the slab sticks, kind of flatten it out with your hands first, and then you'll roll it with a rolling pin. Make sure that the clay is in between the slab sticks and that the slab sticks are under the rolling pin. If I have my slab sticks way out here, then when I roll, my clay is not gonna be the same size as the slab stick. That's what I want. I want it to be this thickness because I want the bottom of my cup or my bowl or my vase or my plate, whatever you decide you want it to be, I want it to be nice and flat and even. It can only be even if we use the slab sticks because it's hard for us to just roll evenly, but these slab sticks really help. So rolling it out. Okay, next we're going to smooth it out with this, a rib. So I'm gonna use my rib and I'm gonna scrape the clay. So I'm gonna take it and use a little bit of pressure to scrape the clay. What we're doing, see these cracks? I got some cracks in my clay. Let's see what happens when I put the rib on it and I scrape those cracks off. They've disappeared. So that is why a scraper, some people call it that, but it's called a rib. That's why a rib is so important because it gets rid of all those cracks in your clay. Okay, so now we're going to cut this shape into a circle. I have a circle right here. I'm just gonna use this. So I'm just gonna press it into the clay a little bit. Then I'm gonna use a needle tool, which I only want you to use a needle tool if you are 5th grade and older. I do not want 4th and under using a needle tool. Instead, I have skewers and other sharp, less intensely sharp objects you can use. But we gotta be really careful if you're using an actual needle. And also if you're cutting with a needle rather than a knife tool, which I do have some knife tools as well, make sure you hold that needle straight up and down. So we wanna hold it like this, not like this, because we want it to be a straight edge, not a slanted edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my needle tool and I'm gonna cut this base out. Next, I'm going to use my coils that I just made with the extruder and I'm gonna create something out of them. So we're gonna be cutting the coils and then scoring and slipping them on the clay. Remember, scraps of clay, always combine it in a nice little ball. That way it stays together and you don't have a bunch of little pieces. And you can always turn this into something else later. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a coil and I'm going to score and slip it on to add my very first one because I'm gonna make this into, I think I said a bowl. I'm gonna stick with that. I'll do a bowl. Ooh, I could do a mug too. I think I'm gonna go bowl. Okay. So I got my coil here. I'm gonna just kind of measure to see how much I need here. Okay. Alrighty, so with a bowl, it's gonna start going out instead of up. So if we were doing something like a mug or a cup, we want it to go up. But if we're making a bowl, we want it to go out. So I want this coil to be slightly larger than my base. Let me first cut it. See how this is slanted? I don't want this slanted edge. I'm gonna cut a nice straight edge on both sides so I can connect it. And if you ever see cracks, it's your job to fix those cracks with our finger dipped in water. That just gets rid of those cracks. It's a little magic crack eraser. Okay. Now I'm gonna form my coil. Be gentle with your coils. Be very gentle with your coils. That means, and what I mean by that, don't bend it too quickly. Very slowly move it around. So I'm gonna cut both ends to the size I want. Notice how I'm just putting this one right on top of this the bottom part of the coil. That way I know where to cut. And then I'm going to, before I score and slip it down onto my base, I'm gonna score and slip the edges together. So score and slip. Remember, you have to scratch. I want you to see what I'm doing here. Scratch, create almost like a checkerboard pattern or a crisscross situation. It's called cross hatching, actually. You're gonna do that on both sides. And then you'll add the slip. Okay, so I've added the cross hatching. Now I need to add the slip. Here it is. I can use any tool to get the slip. I'm going to use just whatever I have near me. So we want to make sure the score lines are deep enough and that we have just a light layer of slip. We don't need too much. It got on me. Okay, so I have both sides slipped. Now I'm going to combine, and not only that, I'm going to give it a little twist, and then I'm going to blend. I want it to look like this was already a ring and I didn't form it into this ring shape. So we got to get rid of this line. Okay, so I am going to score and slip the ring once it's all smoothed out onto my base. And then you just continue adding more and more rings until it's as tall as you want it to be. I think you guys can do it. On the back or on the bottom of the base piece, that's where you're gonna write your name. I suggest letting it dry just a little bit before you add your name. So here's my first piece. I'm gonna score and slip it. Let me just show you something really fast before I end this video. When you are scoring and slipping something on, you need to draw kind of a little outline so you know where to put the score and slip lines. Okay, now I know I need to score and slip all that. And then I'll do that. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing this week. I didn't finish mine yet, but I'll show you more at Art Club. See you soon.